Ah, itchy. So, what is up, YouTube? Wow, it's been quite a few days actually since I made a video, or it's been almost a full week. I don't know. Um, there's a reason for that, and I know I'm losing some subscribers. Basically, it's because my work schedule has been very hectic. One of the days I worked literally from 5:30 to 9. No, I'm sorry, 4:30 to 9:30, and then I worked another shift the next day, literally from 5:30. I'm sorry, it was 4:30 to 8:30, and then one at 5:30 to 9:30 the next day. So literally, I was exhausted. And yesterday, I worked the shift from, what was it? I think it was 11:30. No, it was today. It was 11:30 to 2:30. Um, uh, something I can't remember the schedule yesterday. But there's some other news I want to say that's been affecting me. Um, y'all don't know this. Also, sorry if I'm itching. Um, I've now, my eczema that I've had up here has now spread down towards my arm due to my job. What I mostly do during my job is I help also do dishes, and we have three sinks. Well, a sink with three different compartments. One is with hot water and soap. Middle one is to rinse off the soapy water. The third one is basically bleaching it or sanitizing it. Sanitizer and bleach will probably have the same things. So whenever I dunk the dishes I have to wash, I'm literally dunking my hand in bleach, and the stuff will literally dry your skin out. I'm literally feeling the bumps already, and it's annoying me. Mm, sorry, I was trying to see if I could squeeze. No, I can't. Okay, well, thanks. Um, mm, sorry, I had to do that. It helps release some little bit of the pressure, and the irritatedness. For me, it does. Yeah, for some reason on this arm, it has none, and I've also done this arm, and it does not do crap. Sorry for my language. I'm being honest. I don't know why. Um, Another good thing is actually a good thing. Um, I recently had to go to a psychiatrist a few days ago. About my anxiety because at my job I recently had a couple of panic attacks, and just to be noted, I've had panic attacks since I was in third grade, even longer, and but it wasn't diagnosed until the third grade. Along with my ADD, but mainly that, which made me unable to do anything but panic and break down and mentally just shut down. It's not fun. I think I've talked about this before in a video. I can't remember when. Um, so I've had a couple mini panic attacks. It's been affecting my job so much to the point that they even question me, "Are you sure you want to work here? There's a lot of pressure, and it's fast paced," which is not good for someone with panic attacks and anxiety attacks. Which are basically the same thing. I'm just saying them twice. Um, so me, my mom, and my sister, we went to a psychiatrist, which we could find in our Medicare, or in our insurance range. Took a while, but I finally got to meet her. A couple of hours until I got to meet her. So we talked, and she said that the medicine I've been using for my anxiety medication has just become literally a part of my body, and it's not doing its job anymore. I've had this medication, it's now not much prescribed, I guess, because it's that old. I mean, literally, I'm 21 right now. I don't know how old I've been in third grade. Maybe, let's see, my sister's 12 and she's in the sixth grade. 5, you're entering kindergarten. 6, 7, maybe 8 or so years old is when I was prescribed this medicine. Um, Subtract that, that's a lot of years I've been on the same medication. So instead of trying to literally take out the medicine fully, she decided to have me wean myself off of it because my medicine's now kind of been an addiction to my body. Like, I need it. My mind's been constantly thinking, you have to have this, you have to have this, or you're gonna break down and all. Because in my anxiety, I mentally say to myself that I'm worthless and I'm not worth it or something, or I'm terrible at something, when in actuality I actually am good at something. And sometimes even just saying the word worthless would wreck my day. I would just break down. So she said, instead of just automatically taking it fully out of me, we're gonna wean myself off of it for a period of 2 weeks. And we're starting off with a smaller dosage of taking out. So literally my pill is not that big, but we're literally cutting it in half. So I take half a tablet that I usually took. And I'm impressed with the results. Now I've only had little minor breakdowns, but that was like before I started work. Is because my body's never gotten adjusted to it. Um, so I had that, but I mean it's hard on me because I've been on this medicine since I was a little kid. So, um, but amazingly, after those little breakdowns, I never got upset. Even at a high pressure situation, I never got upset. The reason I was surprised at this is because this happened before also when we were trying to take me off my medicine from another pediatrician. Yes, I go to a pediatrician still. They haven't questioned me yet, and I'm not gonna ask them now not to. But we tried doing that when I was in high school. It didn't work out. I had the worst panic attack, and I had to fake being sick just to get out of an event we were doing during band. So that was when we knew, oh, nope, can't re-ready yet. So now that I did this, I was actually pretty proud of myself that my body's gotten used to this. Now doing this has not been easy, I will say. Over the past couple of days, I've developed a rash, and I would show you. Well, actually, let's see if I can show you. Give me a minute. Let me see. I don't know if I can show you. You probably won't be able to notice it as well as I can. Um, if you kind of see the red bumps on my wrist. I wonder if I can shine a flashlight on it. Does that work? Shush, Misty. Oh my gosh, my dog's loud. Don't know if I can shine a flashlight on it. Come on. Well, I wonder if I can, instead of doing it on this camera. So if you see here on my leg, you can kind of see it on my leg. See these light marks on my leg? This is kind of like eczema. Light bumps right here. Yeah, you can definitely see them here. These are my eczema. Now imagine that, but twice as bad. So let me see if I can pull it just on my phone and then shine it on my camera. Wait. You can lightly faintly see it. Let me see if I can turn my camera around. My mom's being fed up with that dog. Okay, I think I can see in the camera. You can see it. You can see light amounts of bumpage. It's literally all up here, and it's literally, if you see all the bumpiness on my arm, you see how that light bumps are textured looking on my arm. That's not goosebumps. That is the rash reacting to me. And we thought, oh, it might be just the bleach that my hands is being dipped in. and it's just causing really dry skin. That's not the case. It's actually because my body is adjusting to this imbalance in my medication because I've never had it changed in quite some time. So that's what we have figured that out as. And I don't have if y'all are also talking to me via the chat box, I'm sorry I haven't been looking at it. Um, it is difficult handling this because um, it's kind of weird actually having this happen to me. And it's very irritating. I'm literally scratching it and it's itching like crazy. And now I literally have to have a bottle of the Vanicream on my arm, or else I will not stop scratching. Mm. See? So it's been difficult. Um, Mainly because I feel like people will point and stare at it. So I'm hoping it'll go down. But I do also have eczema on my hand. I'm not the only one that's had this. Other coworkers also have the eczema on their hand if they wash the dishes. You will experience it. Holy moly, that feels so good on my arm. Literally the Vanicream, I love it. I've been using it. But the weird thing is this rash, it's kind of starting to develop on the other arm, but just not as badly. I'm used to it now. It's not as weird. We think, though, there's that percentage of people who react differently to an imbalance in their medication. I am that one percentage that is reacting differently. The next thing that's happened, well, before even this happened, the day before that, I started experiencing excruciating like pains down here. And no, it's not a stomach bug because if or anything wrong with my stomach or my digestion. It's literally because my medicine is digested a little differently now because it literally has the pill cut in half. And my digestion has not gotten used to that. Or my stomach has not gotten comfortable with it yet. And I know I wasn't sick because I didn't feel like throwing up, but I did feel like a lot of crampage going in a cycle around my stomach. It was the worst pain ever. It was also happening right when I was going to work. I literally had to take 3 freaking Advil just to calm it down. It worked finally, and it never reared back up, so we assumed it was just that, my medicine. Then the rash started happening. It's still going on. You can definitely see it in my elbow. It's freaking red. Whereas when this one's not. Um, but today, when I got off of work, um, me and the bathroom are now best buddies because I've been literally having to go to the bathroom constantly. Again, we're assuming it's my medication, getting used to my digestive system now. Not really excited. And I think I haven't asked my mom this. I also think it's been affecting my acne. Um, because stress levels may have changed. I don't know. Well, I'm thinking it might have. I don't know. So there's been that. So I've been going through a lot, and that's why I haven't also been recording, is because of that. I'm trying to get my body adjusted, get all, you know, my medicine stuff out of the way and situated. And I'm being prescribed a new generic brand of medicine that's not going to be so addictive to my body. And I don't even have to take it in the morning. I could take it right after I have a panic attack or something, and it'll calm me down. There's no a certain amount. It's just right when I have a panic attack, I have to take it. So that's kind of another concern me and my family are having is I might have to have something on me to take it with. So we're gonna see. And to the point, I haven't had any panic attacks. I haven't broken down. I haven't been upset unless I'm watching stuff sad on YouTube. But I haven't had any attacks. That's a good thing. And I'm actually haven't been feeling myself as worthless or anything like that. I haven't had any negative thoughts, which my personality, you wouldn't think I have any, but before I actually did have a lot of negative thoughts in my brain. But I haven't had any of that. Um, I've actually been through pressure a lot and I haven't broken down at all. So I also just want to make this a message to you guys. If you have been on a medication for anxiety as long as I have, um, uh, don't let anxiety take over you. Like my medicine, like I said, I've been on medicine since the third grade, and now my body's having reactions like a rash, my digestive system, my stomach pains. All of this is just due to my body now getting used to my anxiety medication being lowered, which is a good thing. It's actually taught me, hey, I'm actually going through things. I've not had any panic attacks at all. Um, so don't let anxiety kind of take over your body or over your life, because I feel fantastic. My family and I may even think I won't probably even need the medicine anymore. Well, we're not going that far yet. The more amount of time we lower my dosage of my anxiety medication, the better the results. So I'm excited for that. I've actually been very proud of myself recently. That's new, especially. Very proud of myself. So I'm excited for that. Uh, so luckily tomorrow I get my day off. Thursday I also get the day off, but Monday I have my cousins coming to stay the night with me from Monday until Wednesday. So if I don't make a video then, that's also why. Um, Sunday I also get the day off, and I'm gonna be out with my great grandma and my grandparents to visit and all that. What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, I'm trying to think what else I got. Gosh darn it, eggs must stop itching. But also, if you're developed these symptoms like I have, uh, keep a handy jar of Vanicream on you because, hallelujah, my, hold on, I gotta have one. My arm is itching like crazy. Ah, holy moly moly. You guys don't want to look at what it looks like right now. It looks terrible. So it's from literally on my hand to all the way up here. Eczema plus rash equals a whole lot of itching that I don't want to go through anymore. Mm-hmm. I think one time I actually woke up 3 times in the middle of the night having to literally go downstairs and put the Vanicream on my arm. That's how itchy it was. I need to put a lot actually in my elbow crease. It's the worst. So there's positives and negatives of this. This is the negative of this. It also could be possibly because I had to wash my hands and dry my hands constantly. This is what happens when you work in a restaurant. You're constantly washing your hands, but there's a reason why. You don't really want to get the customer sick. So that's what's been happening. Lowering my amount of my medicine is a good thing. I mean, even I told my other job, at my other job, my bosses, they were saying that was a good thing because they witnessed my panic attacks, and they're not pretty. Because I literally have to leave the area just to calm down. But I'm very proud of myself. How far I'm making it, and this is just the first week. Yay! Actually, wait, no, I went. Actually, it might have been 2 weeks now that I think about it. Has it been 2 weeks actually? Because I went to the psychiatrist Monday. Or was it on Monday? Was it Tuesday? No, it was Monday because we started on Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it might have already been 11 days so far right now. I can't recall since I've done this lowering my medicine. And all these symptoms kind of span out. They're not like constantly the day after day after day. I actually don't remember. When did I start? No, it was definitely Tuesday. I remember that. You hear vacuum cleaner, that's my mom cleaning up downstairs. I can't, yeah, I know it started on Tuesday, and it's now Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it might have been just 6 days right now, I think. Um, yeah, it's only been 6 days. What am I thinking? Why did I say 11? It's only been 6 days into my treatment. Also, the psychiatrist said I will have to see a counselor, just to talk if I have any issues, any concerns, if I have any attacks that I need to talk about, like why. Because the thing about panic attacks, sometimes there's just no reason you have a panic attack. It just happens. It just happens, and you don't know why. Your mind is just unconsciously thinking, I need to break down, or it's thinking something, and you don't know why it does that. I'm actually going to look up about anxiety attacks. Um, so I'm going to go into a little more in depth. Like this is from like literally Anxiety Center. Just if y'all don't know what I mean when I say anxiety or panic attacks. So I will agree with what they say that anxiety attacks are awful, intense, and very frightening because they are powerful experiences, and it seems like they're always out of our control. Um, like us who experience these attacks quickly learn they can be really unpleasant experiences. Um, Anxiety attacks and symptoms are easily addressed with all the right information to help, and of course the sport. Okay, so how can I say this? There's a lot of different symptoms, I guess, to a sign of a panic attack, which includes like the feeling of overwhelming fear, feeling of going crazy or losing control, feel like you're in grave danger, you might pass out, or like a lot of doom and gloom, urgency to escape, dizziness, heart palpitations, trembling, sweating, shortness of breath, the pressure in your chest and pressure or pain in your chest, which I always get, turning pale, feeling detached from reality, weak knees, burning skin, pins and needles, hot and cold flushes, numbness, and of course there's the tingling sensations. Out of all these, um, I would think the urge to escape was being one of them. I will sometimes get a little bit dizzy, I will admit. Um, Definitely a lot of heart palpitations. Chest shortness of breath and chest pain or pressure, I definitely will have. That's why I always put my hand on my chest. A lot of shortness of breath. I do actually feel the pins and needles, but not here or anywhere else. Up here, because I'm breathing fast. Sometimes a little bit tingling. Um, if you guys have ever seen or possibly ever seen me having a panic attack, that's what happens. Um, they can also be, this is more dangerous because they can also be accompanied by a choking sensation or like tightening in your throat. It feels like your throat is closing in. It feels like something's are also stuck in your throat. Confusion. Sometimes that shortness of breath can really have a lot of problem with the brain. Depersonalization, like you're feeling detached from reality. You're separating yourself from you're separating from yourself, separate from normal emotions. There's also a feeling of derealization, which is the feeling like unreal or like in a really foggy dreamlike state. You get dizziness, get lightheadedness, and unsteadiness. I usually will feel lightheadedness afterwards, yes. Then there's the emotional distress, you're emotionally upset, inability to calm yourself down, which is most common to me, a knot in the stomach or you're tight in your stomach, nausea, panicky feeling, pounding, racing heart, butterflies in the stomach, the sudden urge to go to the bathroom, vomiting, and feel like crying, which is what I have. Although this list is not exhaustive, there are a lot of psychological and physical, emotional signs and symptoms of these attacks, I'll be honest. Let's think. Now, another question people always, this one will vary. I want to say, how long will a panic attack or anxiety attack usually last? Their signs and symptoms last from, let's say, a few moments to actually surprisingly a few hours to many hours. The length of the attack is more determined, like how frightened a person is and how they react to what it is they're actually afraid of. And of course, or their anxiety attack, the greater the reaction, of course, then the longer your panic attack will go. And are there serious symptoms? Are these anxiety attacks serious symptoms? No. Even though the signs and symptoms of these attacks can be seeming pretty powerful and of course out of control, they're not harmful to us. Anxiety attacks and the signs and symptoms are the same as a panic attack and their signs and symptoms. I'll also go into what a panic attack is. And these are just anxiety attacks, which I usually will have. Now, anxiety attacks or their their signs and symptoms are like the episodes like high amounts of stress, the stress responses that are accompanied or precipitated by a really large amount of fear and anxiety. I'll probably go a little more if you don't know what anxiety is. Basically, if you don't know what I mean, is anxiety is what we define as the state of apprehension, uncertainty, and of course fear, resulting, I think, in like anticipation of a real or an imagined state or event or situation or circumstances that we think might actually be happening or threatening to us. In other words, if we become concerned or afraid that something could actually harm or endanger us in some way, this fear creates that state of anxiousness. When we're anxious, imagine the body here, and the body produces a stress response. This response is designed to give what we call extra boost of awareness and energy when we think we could be in any mortal danger. Causes like a number of psychological, physiological, and emotional changes in the body, which will enhance the body's ability to deal with this perceived threat. It's either to fight or flee, which is the reason the stress response is often referred to as the fight or flight response. That's what we have. So the degree of this accompanying stress response and this physical, psychological, and emotional changes are proportional to this degree of how much anxiety is built. Let's say I'll throw an example, if you're concerned slightly, like being slightly nervous about you're meeting someone new, that's like what I did at my job, meeting new people, the body will produce a small smidgen degree of stress response. That the small degree stress response can also be slight, that you actually don't even notice or feel it. Really afraid, however, like being terrified that there could be a burglar in your home that's about to harm you, then this body will produce a high degree of stress response. We generally experience high degree stress responses being from anxiety attacks. That's what we determine them as, where the changes are so profound that they'll get our full attention. The greater the degree of anxiety and the stress response, the more changes the body is experiencing at once. Not fun. Low degree anxiety will produce like that small fight or flight change inside our body. Then, as I said, high degree anxiety will produce high degree of fight or flight changes. Flight responses changes are known as the anxiety attacks. That's what we mean. So anxiety attacks are when we have a high degree of that fight or flight response. So it's just whenever we have a high amount of stress that is accompanied by high amounts of anxiety. So what can cause my attacks? These vary. How can I say this? There's three or so. There's two main causes to an anxiety attack, or panic attacks as people call them now. High degree anxiety is pretty much like the most common form of anxiety attacks. which make you think you're in grave danger. Sorry, I'm also trying to get comfortable here. I can't sit that long. Um, what else? I'm thinking. This this anxiety degree will make you think you're in grave danger. Then it'll cause your body, like I said, to produce high degrees of stress responses. This can cause a lot of physical, psychological, and emotional changes in your body, which can be pretty unnerving to the unsuspecting person. You don't expect it to happen. And once these changes are made, many anxious personalities will react to them with more fear, which will cause more stress, which will also cause more psychological, physiological, and emotional changes, and continues on. The most common cause of anxiety attacks is overly anxious behavior, the way we think and act in overly apprehensive ways. The second one is chronically elevated stress. It's when the body's stress is kept within a healthy range, the body functions normally. When we allow stress to build up with no relief at all, the body can cause this involuntary panic attack, which is an involuntary high degree stress response that wasn't caused by behavior. It's like when you have a panic attack, but you have no reason why. You weren't afraid of anything, you weren't even thinking about anything, and just happens. That's what I usually will have sometimes. But I also have high degree ones when I get very afraid. So, what I mean is that why it's not caused by behavior, it's because we experience this involuntary high degree of stress. The sensations are so profound that we think we're having a medical emergency, which anxious personalities can react to with more fear. And when we become more afraid, the body's going to go to produce another stress response, which causes more change, which we can react to with more fear, and it continues. Most people will experience panic attacks when they either become very afraid due to unrecognized chronic stress. Basically, when you don't know you're so stressed. um, uh, but like I said, you don't really need to be afraid of these. If you're suffering from this, you don't really need to be afraid of these attacks. Because even though anxiety attacks can cause wide range of strong anxiety attack symptoms, you really don't actually need to be afraid of them since, like we said, they're mainly high degree of stress responses, which are either triggered by overly apprehensive behavior or just chronic stress. Calming oneself down can actually end an anxiety attack, as well as also reduce the body's stress. It can take time. People with these, you gotta understand, it does take time to calm your panic attack. However, once a started anxiety attack ends, for a once started anxiety attack to end, it will in time. It will in time end. All anxiety attacks end eventually. It just changes. Behaving less anxiously and also keep your body's stress levels in a healthy range can actually prevent any anxiety attacks. Therefore, the anxiety attacks needn't really be much of a concern. Now, is there a way to get rid of these attacks? Anyone can stop and learn how to stop and prevent anxiety attacks. It's just a matter of learning more about them and actually knowing how to control them. A lot of people struggle with the problematic anxiety attacks because they just don't understand them. Therefore, we fear them. It's a common catalyst into the panic attack disorder. Yes, I said panic attack disorder. It can happen. The more you know, the better off you'll be. I actually had to learn what panic attacks were because I didn't have any freaking clue about them. And there's lots of sites you can follow or find about anxiety attacks. I have found some here about some tips how to help stop and prevent an anxiety attack and their symptoms. First of all, one that my mom tells me to do is deep diaphragmatic breathing. What I mean is breathing with your abdomen. This will help bring an end to the anxiety attack. Usually, it just depends. Try to calm yourself down. Calming yourself down will also end an anxiety attack. like I said, eventually. Relax your body as much as possible, as much as you can. Relaxing causes your body to shut off the stress response, which will cause an anxiety attack to end again, eventually. Maybe go for a walk. Walking can actually shut the stress responses. Remember, anxiety attacks aren't actually harmful at all. They're just strong reactions to worry and fear and stress. Your anxiety attacks will always end. The more you calm yourself down, the faster they will stop. Reduce the stress, increase rest, and give your body time to calm down. The more relaxed you are, actually, the less likely it is you'll have an anxiety attack. Most importantly is learning to stop scaring yourself with so much worry. The worry is the number one cause of anxiety attacks. Contain your worry, which there's a lot of ways you can stop or continue worrying. Keep your stress level in a healthy range, which will prevent involuntary attacks in the future. Also, keeping stress at a healthy range will also reduce your sensitivity and your reactivity to danger, which can also prevent anxiety attacks, which is good. What else? Oh, here it is. So, anxiety attacks, they're referred to as many things, but anxiety attacks or are more often referred to as panic attack disorder or anxiety attack disorder. Anxiety attack disorder is included in the overarching category of anxiety disorder. So, don't be surprised, but actually those who experience anxiety attack disorder are not alone, because I think I heard it's estimated like 19% of the North American adult population, this is between 18 and 54, will experience an anxiety disorder. And about, I think, 3% of like North Americans and the adult population experience anxiety attack disorder. The number is probably much higher now that I think about it, since many conditions will go undiagnosed and also unreported. I mean, I think mine went undiagnosed like 3 years in a row because we didn't know if it was just me being at a young age and being scared. Which y'all don't know it, I'm actually a shy person. I fear a lot easily, so that's why. Now, while everyone can actually experience brief episodes of intense anxiety from time to time, and of course, a great many people experience 1 to 2 anxiety attacks over the course of their lifetime, those with anxiety attack disorder occurs when these attacks become frequent or persistent, beginning when interfering or restricting normal lifestyle, or like when the individual becomes afraid of them. Once established, anxiety attack disorder is easy to be debilitating. Anxiety attack disorder generally starts with one unexplained attack, which can include a number of intense anxiety attack symptoms, which causes this individual to become very concerned. I don't have this because I'm not really concerned because I've had this before. As other attacks occur, fear of having an anxiety attack, what they mean is that what the associated symptom means. It's like, as these other attacks occur, the fear of having an anxiety attack, what they mean, what its associated symptoms means, and where the attacks and symptoms may lead increases. This escalation of fear is often this big catalyst that brings on the attack, causing this individual to be seemingly caught in this big continuous cycle of fear and panic. Then more fear, then panic again. Fear, panic, fear, panic, fear, and panic. It keeps going. An anxiety attack, like I said, can be described as a sudden attack of fear, terror, or feelings of impending doom. Like I said, common amount of time is 30 seconds or 30 or more minutes. What else? I think the highest incidence of onset anxiety attack disorders occurs from age 17 to 25 years in age range. People all age groups can experience an anxiety attack. Many people remember having them as children, aka me. I remember them. Anxiety attacks that occur in childhood are often misunderstood as feeling sick or the onset of the flu, usually. Although women are thought to be experience a higher prevalence of anxiety attacks than men, however, statistics actually say that's not true because men are more reluctant to seek professional help about this, being honest. And anxiety attacks are often misunderstood. There's many sources claiming that anxiety attacks are genetic or biologically caused or both because they commonly occur in families, but there's been research and practical evidence that has said that's not true. Um, like I said, the factors that cause anxiety disorders are learned and therefore are behavioral and not actually genetically inherited or biologically caused. Yes, anxiety disorders do have a biological component, but that biological component is a result of our behaviors and not the cause of them. It's common for anxiety disorders to run in the family, but this is just due to learned and passed on behaviors. It's not just because of genetic factors. Children that have grown up with anxious parents often see them, learn them, and adopt the anxious behavioral style. I've done that. I actually don't know. Actually, my sister has because she's seen my panic attacks. So she's learned to have a panic attack. That's not good actually bringing that up. But like I said, yes. Actually, my sister has had a panic attack before, or what she thinks is a panic attack. Like I said, like it says here that children that grow up with anxious, relatives will often see, learn, and adapt and adopt the anxious behavioral style. Like my sister has adopted my behavior style because she's seen my panic attacks and knows what is happening to my body. And like I said, anxiety attacks. Now I know I freak people out sometimes when I'm going to an attack mode, but they aren't. They shouldn't be frightening. They can be frightening and debilitating, but anxiety attacks can be stopped and prevented. Anyone can do it with just the right info and help and support. Panic now, panic attack disorder is best treated early. Conditions allowed to persist often and become more complicated, and consequently will require more time and effort to actually resolve. Now, panic attack disorder at any stage is actually fully resolvable when the right information and help and support are also obviously combined with effort and application. Anyone can be successful. Um, uh, there there are no actual quick fix remedies or cures. Um, like I said, anxiety is kind of learned. Now, any treatments that claim miracle or secret clues that say that there are ways to treat anxiety, that's basically misleading and should not be paid attention to. Like we said, there are ways to encourage us to actually treat our anxiety attacks. There's no really need to suffer, actually. Um, if you are experiencing any anxiety attacks, you can actually regain control of your health naturally. You can live a normal life again and medication free. Like me, I'm actually naturally calming myself down. I am trying to wean off medication and all that. Um, I know there probably is a difference between men having anxiety and women having anxiety. Now, while it seems that men and women experience different anxiety attack symptoms, they actually don't. Since each person is somewhat unique chemically, signs and symptoms of an anxiety attack vary from a person to another person, and even from men to women. So, in teenagers, like I said, people of all ages can experience anxiety attack and panic attacks. Even children, like myself when I was young, teenagers, have had that, and even the elderly. Now, the difference between anxiety attack symptoms and a heart attack, like I said, anxiety attack symptoms and heart attack symptoms can be pretty similar because their signs and symptoms can be similar, but most medical professionals can quickly tell the difference between heart attacks that have distinct symptoms that aren't really anxiety like, If you're unsure of that, though, seek immediate medical advice. Um, can you have anxiety attack symptoms at night? They can occur anytime. It doesn't have to be a specific time. Anxiety attacks can occur anytime, anywhere, even at night. Anxiety attacks and their signs and symptoms can feel, like I said, awful, intense, and threatening. But like I said before millions of times, they are not harmful at all. They will subside, and getting just the right information, the right help, and the support is the best way to treat anxiety attacks. And of course, their signs and symptoms. What else? I think that's it, really. Now, I actually never knew that there's two different types. Now, like I said, panic attacks, which anybody can possibly have them, is like overwhelming dread, anxiety, and fear that something's about to happen. I've had that a lot. The length of a panic attack determines how frightened the person is and how they react to what it is that they're actually afraid of, including the panic attack itself. Greater reaction, longer and more powerful the panic attack and the symptoms will become. They are powerful and frightening, and they are out of our control. And those that experience panic attacks will quickly learn that they can be pretty unpleasant experiences. They can be successfully treated. No need to suffer endlessly, though. When I say the term panic disorder, or I'm referring to panic attacks disorder or panic attack disorder. By the two differences here, panic attacks disorder is when there's a lot of attacks happening. Panic attack disorder is mainly just, rare occurrences, I think, if I'm right. We already went over the symptoms or signs of panic attacks. They're basically the same thing. What I mentioned, like the symptoms, are exactly the same thing. Panic attacks are exactly like anxiety attacks, even though the symptoms of a panic attack disorder can probably seem like really odd, disturbing, and powerful, and seemingly pretty much out of our control. They just aren't harmful to us. The panic attacks. Now, the thing is, panic attacks and anxiety attacks are basically one and the same thing. Therefore, panic attack symptoms and anxiety attack symptoms, they're the same. Um, um, women For panic attacks, women will experience more frequent, stronger, and more panic attacks, and their symptoms are nearing or during their monthly menstruation cycle. Yes, guys, whenever our time of the month starts, we'll be having more panic attacks. If they're taking like even hormone replacement therapy, if pregnant or postpartum, or when in premenopause or menopause, we'll have more attacks than you guys. Yes, it's true. Actually, also, the panic attack disorder symptoms in teenagers, it was actually thought that everyone experiences at least 2 panic attacks in their whole lifetime. With panic attack disorder, sufferers experience it a lot more. Like I said, you can tell the difference between their symptoms of a panic attack disorder symptom and a heart attack. You can actually have them at night. Even when you're sleeping, you can have a panic attack. Waking up with a panic attack and its symptoms is pretty much a common occurrence for panic attack disorders. Uh, so ongoing serious worry, which will generally cause panic attacks, is called voluntary panic attack disorders. It's when our worry has activated a big dramatic amount of stress response or reaction. Persistently elevated stress can also cause a panic attack. These types of attacks are called involuntary panic attacks, which means that the body has involuntarily triggered an attack all by itself due to being just overly stressed, aka me, involuntarily stressed. But the most common form of panic attacks is just the voluntary panic attack types. With involuntary attacks, types being less common. Surprise, surprise, they can be less common. Alexandra, no, I cannot speak French. Stop it. Involuntary attacks actually kind of occur out of the blue. Like I have, out of the blue and seeming for no apparent reason. But most of the time, people have voluntary attacks, which are preceded by worry that's caused by imagining something horrible can even happen to you, even though you might not be actually be aware prior to the panic attack. So, like I said, most people will experience 2 panic attacks in their lifetime. It's normal. Panic attack disorder occurs when panic attacks occur more frequently and interfere with normal lifestyle. When panic attacks cause regular disruption to a normal lifestyle, it's actually considered as panic disorder, PD. I don't think I was diagnosed with that because I just have anxiety. Now, panic disorder is not a medical term, but a term used to describe mental health issue. While you may have been diagnosed as having panic disorder, that just means your overly anxious behaviors cause episodes of high degree of fear. It doesn't mean you're somehow mentally deficient or have some serious mental illness. Common cause of panic disorder is becoming afraid of the sensations and feelings of a panic attack. Because panic attacks are generally caused by worry and fear. Worrying about it and being afraid of panic fuels that disorder. Often occurs when we become afraid of the strong feelings and associated with panic attacks. Yeah, there's a lot about it. Now, do I have this? People who regularly experience panic attacks are said to have panic disorder. I'm actually going to take the test. It's a short self-question test. Okay, okay. So let me take this test, okay. So do you have episodes where you feel so fearful that you become afraid that you might completely lose it? I don't know. Sometimes I will admit, sometimes I fear I will lose control. Excuse me. Do you have episodes where you feel so afraid that you feel like you could have complete mental breakdown? Maybe once or twice. I don't feel like I completely break down. I find a way to calm myself out of it. Do you have episodes where you feel like you are completely freaking out? Once or twice, once in a while, it happens. When you're nervous or afraid, do you have episodes where you experience uncontrollable trembling or shaking? Yeah. Actually, yes, often when I feel afraid, I do tremble. I notice. Do you have episodes where you are so afraid that you think you might pass out? I haven't really passed out from it. Do you have episodes of being really afraid for no apparent reason? Actually, yeah. Do you have episodes where you become so afraid that your heart beats fast and hard? You feel weak to the knees. Actually, yeah, that does happen. Do you have episodes of anxiety and fears that you can't seem to control? Yes, I do. Have you ever worried yourself into a panic attack? Actually, I will say I always have, yeah. I often have, yes. Have you ever freaked yourself out and then couldn't stop yourself from being afraid? Maybe once or twice. So let's see the results. I score 52. This score indicates that you are experiencing panic attacks in the moderate range. This can mean you're having panic attacks occasionally and or that they have been in moderate degree range overall. Um, so I have a moderate range. To experience a panic attack at this level, good self-help information can help prevent a further escalation of anxiety and panic. That didn't really help me. So I'm surprised how I automatically went into like anxiety stuff. But I'm gonna end the live stream here. It's late and I'm tired. But this is just letting you know how I've been doing, what I've been doing, that I'm weaning off my anxiety medication, so I'm getting better. That's a good thing. Anyway, so your girl Flare here is gonna go. I'm kind of tired. Peace. Bye.